Welcome back to my channel. In part 1 of this video, we looked at all the PB mixes up to PB29 because I have many PB29s. PB29 stops here. So, in and of itself, I think it would still be the largest collection in this entire series, and it's just one pigment. So, I broke this video up into 2 parts. And now we are going to swatch the rest of these blues. They've all had water, they're ready to go. So let's get into this. First up is Beam Paints Timberwolf Gray. It is PB29 PY43. I love this gray. I use it all the time. It is one of my favorite Beam colors. Then we have Beam Gray Ultra Cloud, which is PB29 PY43. It's sort of the paler version of this color, but adding yellow to it as well. I tried to mix for this in my mixing grays, and I don't think I got anywhere close. Then we have Blue Granite by Cozmick Creations, which is PB29 PY74 PR122 and PG50. I love this gray. I need to do a single pan gray piece with it. We have Szmal Olive Green Light, PB29, PY129, PY150, and PBR25. We have White Knight's Aquamarine Mist, PB29, PG7, a stunning color. Then we have White Knight's Blue Mist, PB29, PG7. Same pigments, just at a different concentration, and so this one's a significantly darker and more blue color. We have Gray Pink Mist, which is by White Knights, which is PB29 PG7 PR187, which was then renamed at some point to Gray Rose Mist. Same pigments, different name. Don't know when they renamed it, but they did. Then we have White Knight's Violet Mist, the poured version, which is PB29 PG17 PR187. I really like this moody purple. Then we have White Knight's Violet Mist, but the pan version, which is PB29 PG17 PR187. I will say that the White Knights from the tubes are a much darker color than the White Knights from the pans, for whatever reason. White Knight Shadow Violet is PB29 PG18 PO73. I love this color. It has been in my palette for such a long time, and will probably always be in my palette. We have Glacier Blue by Schmincke, PB29 PG50. If you've watched my Schmincke series, you will know how I feel about this color. We have Holbein Cobalt Blue hue, PB29 PB15. I personally think this is not dark enough to be a cobalt blue, and is not opaque enough to be a cobalt blue, but whatever. Daniel Smith Rose of Ultramarine, PB29 PV19. I love this color. It's so much fun, and I need to find more pieces to use it in these days because it doesn't get nearly enough use. Szmal's Mineral Violet, PB29 PV19. I do enjoy that these two are the exact same pigment numbers and look so totally different. I think it's a great example of like how pigments in different ratios can give you totally different results. Then we have Hematite Mist, the poured version, which is PB29 PR101 by White Knights. I love this color. It's so nicely moody. Then we have the pan version, which is same pigment numbers, still nicely moody. I find leans a bit more purple. It just does, for whatever reason. Again, the White Knights from pans versus the White Knights from tubes, like there is a noticeable color difference. This is a tube, this is a pan, tube, pan, tube, pan. Like, there's a color difference. Holbein Mineral Violet is PB29, PR122, PBR25. I love this purple. It's so pretty. I really like it in sunsets. We have White Knight's Lilac Mist, the poured version. We have White Knight's Lilac Mist, the pan version. We have the gray that I can never pronounce by Roman Szmal's, Prisbic gray. Nope, I keep grabbing shadow gray. That's not what I want. I want that. PB29, PR127. No, PB29, PR177, PG26. I can read sometimes. Violet Horizons by White Knights is up next. It is PB29, PR233. Again, one of my favorite mixes for granulating colors because there are so many different versions. Like this sort of same pigment mix but in different ratios can give you Tundra Pink, Shadow Rose, Galaxy Violet. Like it's a super fun color. And I really like it. This is Schmincke Galaxy Violet. And we're going to slide this up and bring in the last sheet for blues. So we have Tundra Pink, which is PB29, PR233. Again, if something has 233 in it, it's probably automatically a winner for me. Undersea Green by Daniel Smith is PB29, P048, PY150. I love this color. I've gone through an entire 5mm tube of it and have just got a 15mm tube of it because I love it that much. Schmincke Tundra Violet is PB29, PBR6. The entire top of my pan is pretty much always covered in orange. It's just how the pan separates out with water. And so you never know how this color is going to swatch because sometimes it can just swatch orange. Haze Indigo by Schmincke is PB29, PBR6, PBR33. Schmincke Tundra Blue is PB29, PBR7. I personally love this blue. It is probably my favorite blue in the entire Schmincke series. Yes, it's pretty easy to mix yourself, but if you want to create your own like super granulating mixing trio, this blue is fantastic. Let me know if I should do a video on that because that was such a fun sort of play that I had. Daniel Smith Jane's Gray, PB20. There we go. All right. Daniel Smith Jane's Gray, PB29, PBR7. So, you know, we're not wasting an entire sheet of paper over 2 row dots of paint. I don't have the paper budget for that. Courtney's Gray, which by Cozmick, is PB29, PBR7. Same pigment number as Jane's Gray, totally different gray. This one is a lot darker, a lot less blue, and a lot more neutral in its undertone. Roman Szmal Shadow Gray, PB29, PBR7, PV19. This one is probably the most blue in its undertone because it's got a violet added to it. Then we have Ash Moon by Cozmick, which is PB29, PBR7, PV19, PV23. I sort of wish I had one more color up here so that this one had been bounced down so that you could see them all side by side, because it's pretty interesting. But this is still an interesting comparison where you're just like adding an extra pigment every time and you can see the progression. Schminke Deep Sea Violet, PB29, PBR33. I love this violet. It's probably my favorite violet in the entire Schminke series. Gray Blue Mist by White Knights, PB29, PBK7. I don't believe this color appeared in the pan set. But it is super fun. White Knights Blue Shadows Poured, PB29, PBK11. White Knights Blue Shadows, PB29, PBK11. White Knights Royal Blue, again part of the pastel set. I want to use this set more than I do these days, but I just don't use it enough to justify keeping it or repurchasing it. PB29, PW6. Cause Paints Ash Mist, PB29, PW6.1, P073. This is such a lovely, moody, purpley gray color that I absolutely love. Yellowish Green Mist. This color is fabulous. Again, this is what I wanted in the White Knight set and did not get. Sorry, the Schminke set and did not get. It's just like stunning and moody and bright. Schminke Desert Yellow, PB29, PY159. Schminke Shire Olive, PB29, PY159. Oh, PB35, PY159. So same pigments, different concentrations. I think Shire Olive is one of my favorite colors in the set. Glacier Black by Schminke, PB35, PBK11. Roman Szmal Shadow Violet Light is PB36, PB29, and PR176. It's very purple. Addison and Sedgwick's Van Gogh, PB60, PV19, and PV23. Really, it just looks like a Indian throne blue to me. If I didn't know that it was a mix, I wouldn't think it was a mix. Addison and Sedgwick's Yotrich, PB60, PV19, PV23, PR183, PBK11. I really like this purple. Daniel Smith Indigo is PB60, PBK6. As indigos go, it's pretty just basic, and that's sort of what you want for an indigo. And then we have Sennelier Indigo, which is PB60, PBK7, and PB15.1. I find this too teal. So let's let these dry, and then we'll go through all 71 colors. All right, all 3 pages are dry, so let's go through this. Artistic Isle, Hematite Mist, I love. Pulitzer, I love. Hosta, I like, but if I was rebuilding my palette from scratch, I could probably do without for a while. Same with Andes. Black, green. I've got PBK 31 and 32, so I don't know that I need. Silversmith. I love that it's got like the pockets of dark in it, but I don't know that I absolutely need if I was building my palette from scratch. The Holbein Composed Blue I love, but I also don't know if I just love because it lives in my tiny Holbein travel palette and so it gets used all the time. Beam Violet I use quite a lot, and so I would probably repurchase. Rosa Gallery's Indigo, no. Azure Blue by White Knights, I do really like. Core Indigo, oh, I'm on the fence. I've got Indigo Genuines that I like, and because most of my work is only in sketchbooks or like loose leaf sheets of paper that I just use to film videos on, like light fastness doesn't matter to me, so I'd probably just keep my genuine versions and get rid of it. Barati, I love the texture of, and it's great for forest pieces. Shipwrecked, love the texture of, great for sunsets. Green Mist, I love how bright it is. It's what I wish was more present in the Schmincke sets, but if I was rebuilding my palette from scratch, I don't know that I need it. Cobalt Chromium Mist by White Knights, again, really like, don't know that I need it. Winsor Noon Terre Vert, on the fence about. It's in a mini pan. It lives in one of my mini paint palettes for travel, so it does get used quite a bit, but I don't know that I absolutely need it if I was rebuilding my palette from scratch. Rosa Gallery's Cobalt Turquoise was purchased simply because I wanted to try out the PB 36 version, and instead I ended up getting stuck with this mix, so I definitely wouldn't be repurchasing it unless I knew that I was getting the single pigment version. Rose Mist, I love. I love the granulation. It's super fun. Turquoise Rose Mist, not as fun. Same with these, like they're not as fun as this. Jade Green, if I'm keeping Barati, I don't need Jade Green. Also, I prefer the Cosmic formula to the Rosa formula. The Rosa formula just like sticks to my brushes. I use synthetic squirrel brushes in my studio, so I don't know if it's just like the brush, but the Rosa formula sticks really badly. Sky Blue shadows and blue shadows. There's definitely a color difference between the pans and the tubes, or the tubes and the pans, but I don't know that I like either one of them enough to keep it if I was rebuilding my palette from scratch. And then we're on to this sheet. Timberwolf by Beam, yes. Grey Cloud Ultra from Beam, yes. Blue Granite, yes. Olive Green Light, I gets used, but if I was rebuilding my palette from scratch, not the first green I'd pick. All Aquamarine Mist and Blue Mist. If I'm keeping Azure Blue, I probably don't need. Gray Pink and Gray Rose, again, probably don't need. Violet Mist and Violet Mist, I'd like, but I can probably mix something close, and I have mixed something close, so again, probably don't need. Shadow Violet from Daniel Smith. I love this color, but I think it all depends on what you're painting. Like, I can get away with having it in my palette, but I think lots of people can't. Galaxy Blue, I rant about this in my Schmincke series. It feels like a waste of a color. It is so undifferent compared to lots of the standard single pigment blues I have in my palette. They could have done something so much more interesting, and if it hadn't been for the Schmincke series, I never would have purchased it, and I'm glad I bought it secondhand, and I did not pay full price for it. Holbein Cobalt Blue. Doesn't look anything like a cobalt blue, but I really like it in my mini Holbein palette. Rose of Ultramarine, love this color. Mineral Violet. I prefer the Holbein Mineral Violet, but I don't dislike the Roman Szmal Mineral Violet. Hematite Mist. I actually use, but it is totally possible to mix your own. It's only 2 pigments. And I think it was pretty easy in the mixing series to get it. The Holbein Mineral Violet I love. It's in my mini Holbein palette and it gets used all the time. The Lilac Mist, I don't know that I'd keep. It's fun. It's got this really fun pink granulation to it. That being said, it's not the right purple for what I do most of the time, and so I probably wouldn't keep it. The Roman Szmal Prisbis Gray, again, not how you say it. If I was rebuilding the palette, would I keep it? I don't know, honestly. I like it. It gets used. There are a lot of more fun grays like Blue Granite and Pebble and even Schminke Random Gray 2022 that I enjoy using more, and so I probably wouldn't keep it if I was able to get those grays. That being said, this gray of all those grays I listed is the one that's the easiest to get. Schminke Violet Horizon, I love. Galaxy Violet, I wish it was bolder in its granulation. It just sort of feels weak. Tundra Pink. Honestly, I've tried mixing this color so many times, and at this PB to PR ratio, there's no way you can get this color adding more blue than more violet. Sorry, more blue than more red. Like, it doesn't work. So I think the pigment number for this is wrong. I think these are supposed to be swapped, but on all the tubes, I've had friends check their tubes, and this is the way it's listed, so I simply wouldn't buy it because I know that that's the wrong pigment number. Daniel Smith Undersea Green. I love this color. I am now on my 15 ml tube of it, and it's great. Schminke Tundra Violet. I go back and forth on this color. Sometimes it swatches out much more blue, sometimes it swatches out more orange. As you can see right now, this is the pan, and it is totally orange on top. The brown pigment just likes to float and sort of creates a total like layer on top if you wet it. And I find that really annoying because unless you like take that layer off every time you use it, you don't get the purple. And I just find that annoying in a paint, so I probably wouldn't buy it again. Haze Indigo. Stole some from Mom who had it in tubes. I don't know that I use it enough to repurchase it, though I do enjoy it. Tundra Blue, love this color. It's fantastic, would definitely repurchase. Jane's Gray, there are other more interesting grays. Courtney's Gray, I absolutely love. It's great. Shadow Violet by Roman Szmal, I do quite enjoy. Of Ash Moon and Courtney's Gray, I would actually probably choose Ash Moon. It's just got a little more going on with it and is a bit more fun. Deep Sea Violet, I actually really like. It's a super fun purple, and of all the purples in the Schminke series, I think it's my favorite. Blue Gray, Blue Shadows, and Blue Shadows. I don't know that I'd get any of them. They are fun, but they're pretty easy to mix. White Knight's Royal Blue. I do like this color for like the first layer of a sky, but honestly, it's probably pretty easy to mix. I haven't actually tried mixing the pastel set, but it's probably pretty easy. Paints Ash Mist is up, and then I like this. I use it a lot for stormy skies, and so I would probably still get it. Green Mist and Shire Yellow are definitely colors that I'd probably repurchase. They're fun, they're bright, they're granulating greens. Desert Yellow, probably wouldn't repurchase, it's sort of boring. Glacier Black, wouldn't repurchase, there are other blacks I like more. Roman Szmal Shadow Violet Light, probably wouldn't repurchase, or at least in the first round of rebuilding my palette, because as much as I enjoy it, there are other like pale bluey purple colors that I've already selected. Van Gogh by Addison and Sedgwick is too similar to a Indian Throne Blue to justify having it, especially when I didn't realize that it wasn't an Indian Throne blue until I looked at the pigment numbers and realized there were other things that were part of it. However you say this one from Addison and Sedwig is great. I love it. It's a super fun, like dark, moody purple. Definitely repurchase, though I don't know if she still carries it because it was part of the 2022 Christmas collection. Daniel Smith Indigo and Sennelier Indigo. I prefer the Daniel Smith one to the Sennelier one. The Sennelier one is too turquoise. Even though the PB 15.1 is the last pigment in the mix, it overpowers the mix, which is how I feel about PB 15.1 pretty much all the time, is that it's just too overpowering in mixes. So I hope you enjoyed blues. This was the longest video in this entire series and has definitely been a bit of a marathon, but I hope it was helpful if you're looking at adding some blue mixes to your palette, if you've already got some but you don't know where you want to go from what you already have. I hope this helped a little bit. If I've missed any of your favorite blue mixes, let me know down below. I'm always looking at adding new colors to my palette. And thanks so much for watching.